Hey class, so today I'm going to do a video pretty much telling you the steps that you're going to need to memorize on your state board um, evaluation on what to do if you were to cut yourself. Say if you were to cut yourself by doing a haircut. This is your Bloodborne self-cut exposure. So this is pretty much a pass or fail evaluation that we're going to do when we get back to school. So I encourage you to look over this video a couple times. Also, definitely go over the steps. I'm going to have these steps posted. I'm hoping to do a couple review exercises to kind of help you remember these steps. So we'll definitely be seeing them a few times, hopefully before we actually do this evaluation at school. It's not real hard, so I think I'm pretty confident you guys are going to get it. So just bear with me on the video quality. I'm doing the best I can with limited resources due to the stay-at-home orders issued by our state and the coronavirus outbreak. But I've already got my, I'm going to move the camera down. I've already got my client here, Miss Deborah, is already properly draped. And we're going to use a little bit of role play and imagination. And I'm going to start this thing. And just bear with me and hopefully you learn a little something today. Okay. All right. Hello, Miss Deborah. How are you doing today? Okay. So you want a long layer haircut? Sure, I can do that. You know, I just got these scissors like yesterday, and I'm dying to use them. They're a little bit different from what I usually use. The blades are a little longer, but they're really cool, see? Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. You want just a dry cut? Well, yeah, I can do that for you, no problem. Hold still. I'll get started now. Let me put this layer in. Ouch! I'm so sorry, Miss Deborah. It appears I have cut myself. Guess I'm not used to these scissors after all. I gotta go take care of this. I'll be right back. I do apologize. So that is your first and number one step. Your first step is you're going to want to tell your client immediately what happened. They're going to already know anyway. 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to hide that you accidentally cut yourself. I mean, they're going to know it. So just be honest with your clients. Always let your client know, hey, I got to stop. Got to go take care of this. Okay? That's your first step. Second step you want to do is you want to lay down your tools either at your station or you want to take your tools, your scissors, your comb that you were working with you. You got to clean these anyway. You could take them with you. Totally up to you what you want to do. If you do leave them at your station, make sure you leave them somewhere where they're not going to be in harm's way if that was a kid or somebody else. And I would probably use a towel or something to cover them with, just because they do have your blood and stuff on them. You just don't want anybody to come by and knock them off the table and if you do cover them, you might actually want to put them in your station, better yet. Might be a better idea. But you definitely want to make sure that if you were to cover them, that someone definitely knows, hey, there's scissors there, that I just cut my finger. You want to make sure that Deborah knows about it so she can alert people. Maybe your coworker beside you at the booth beside you knows about it. So these are things you need to think of. So first step number one is let your client know, hey, I cut my finger, gotta go take care of it. That's your first step. Your second step is you're going to go back with your soap. Pretend like I'm already in the back of the room where your first aid kit is, your laboratory, your sink, and whatever. So I got my antibacterial dye soap over here. So you're going to use your soap. Of course, I got soap over here at the sink too, but I'm going to use that anyway. So I got my soap, I got my water running, and we're going to wash our hands like we learned previously yesterday in the hand washing video. We're going to clean that wound really good. So we're going to wash our hands. So we use that soap. Get all those germs. And hopefully that bleeding is going to stop. Okay. So we're going to take that paper towel. And for some reason, if that bleeding is still continuously to bleed from that little cut or that wound, you can use your paper towel and directly apply pressure to that cut. And if you hold your finger or put some pressure right onto where that cut was with the paper towel for a few minutes, a lot of times that pressure will, I'm going to move that camera up because I'm too tall. Anyway, if you apply that pressure to that wound for a few minutes, it's going to kind of eventually stop bleeding. Now, I'm going to pause right there and just remind y'all, this is for like a simple, like a cut, like you cut yourself with your scissors. This is not like, oh my God, I just cut my finger and now I feel like I got to go to the emergency department or urgent care and get stitches. And incidents like that where you actually have to do and go get stitches, you're going to want to make sure you tell your coworker, your manager or somebody, hey, I got to go get this taken care of, and they're going to understand it, and they're going to go tell Miss Deborah, and somebody's going to go take care of Miss Deborah for you, and Miss Deborah's going to totally understand it too. So your priority is your health always, and your customer's health always. So basically, this wound here is just a minor cut. We're just doing it for your evaluation for your state board. So basically, as you can see, the cut's already stopped bleeding. So our next step is you're going to want to throw away your paper towel into your waste basket. So I'm going to throw it away into my waste basket there. And you're going to go over to your first aid kit. And you're going to grab a Band-Aid and your antibiotic ointment and cream. I'm going to bring a couple other things over. Sometimes if you don't have antibiotic soap, you've got regular soap or something, sometimes your first aid kit will have these little alcohol swabs or whatever. You can use that to clean your wound if you like. If it makes you feel better, that's totally optional, up to you. But according to state board guidelines, your antibiotic ointment cream is what they now suggest for you to use. So after you use your soap and your water and you wash your wound, you can apply a little bit of antibiotic ointment cream to it. You can use a Q-tip or a cotton swab, or you can use your finger. I wouldn't recommend you take your finger right up to the tube, especially if it's not your tube and it's like a communicable where everybody's using it. I would probably use a clean Q-tip, and I would apply some of that ointment onto your Q-tip like so. And then we're going to put that lid back on there. And then you can use that same Q-tip that you got your ointment on and apply it to your wound. That way you're keeping germs out of that tube there. So you're not, exposing germs and other stuff. And you're maintaining sanitation guidelines across the board for everybody. Okay, and now we're going to get a Band-Aid. And everybody knows how to put a Band-Aid on, hopefully. You're going to want to take that little cotton piece and put it over that wound. And you're going to just, pull that over and pull it tight. Okay, so now we got a Band-Aid on, as you can see. Okay, so our next step is we're going to get gloves on. Okay, so now the reason why we're getting our gloves on, I wonder if y'all can tell me. Sure you can. But the reason why we're getting our gloves on is because those same scissors that we either took with us or that's back at our station, we're going to have to use or not use the Barbicide wipes to clean those scissors with, or we're going to stick them directly into our Barbicide solution and let them sit there for 10 minutes. Now, we could have had these scissors if we took them with us And I probably would recommend you take your scissors with you while you're doing all this stuff. That way you could have cleaned your scissors after you clean your wound, and they could be soaking because. And this is one reason why I'm telling y'all to do this is because time is the essence. Just like your time is your money, your client's time is, your client's time, and their time is precious to them, just like your time is to you. So think about it. We want to kind of work smarter. We want to use our time efficiently, right? So think about it. If I take my tools with me to the back bar, I can actually, after I've cleaned my wound, which I just did, I can go ahead and start cleaning my tools. I can go ahead and put my scissors in with my Barbicide solution after I've cleaned them and my comb so they can be soaking and disinfecting. Because as we've learned, your tools, after you've soaked them in your Barbicide for 10 minutes, then basically you've got to kind of dry them off. Before you can take them back out there and use them on your client. Proper sanitation rules. State board guidelines is what we want to strive for. Personally, I have a second pair of scissors, and if you do, that's great. But if you don't have a second pair of scissors to use, then you definitely want to make sure that those scissors are clean before you go back out on that floor. That's mandatory. Okay, so then when you have that clean, your next step that you're going to want to be doing is you want to go back out and you want to clean your area. Say that you could have left some blood or something on the counter. You could have left a drop of blood on the floor. You could have left blood on your station. You want to go back out there. You want to check to make sure that your area is clean. And even if it's not clean, I would suggest to go ahead and wipe it down just for sanitation reason to make yourself and the client feel better. So basically, you want to take your spray disinfectant, your wipes, any type of cleaning solutions that you have in your salon to use with. You're going to want to go back out to your station. That way you can check on Miss Deborah. Hey, Miss Deborah, I'm so sorry again. I'm just going to wipe down my station. Make sure I clean it real good. And I'll be back out in just a little bit. And we'll finish your haircut. And I do apologize again. I am so sorry. Okay. And then you'll go back in with your cleaning supplies. And you're going to want to throw this in the wastebasket. Okay. Then you're going to take off these gloves because now they're dirty. Throw them in the wastebasket. And then you're going to want to what? Clean your hands again, right? So let's clean your hands again. Use that soap again. Be sure to keep that Band-Aid dry, especially if you're running low on Band-Aids. You want to kind of keep that finger out. Okay. Unless you've got a lot of Band-Aids, then you can always, if you get that Band-Aid wet, you can always go back and apply another Band-Aid over it, because, wet Band-Aids sometimes don't stay on really good. Okay. Now, sometimes your salon may have finger guards, which are kind of like they're basically a little latex rubber finger. They kind of look like they almost kind of like a little finger condom that you put on and you just kind of roll over your finger, basically. That's going to kind of protect your finger. They'll go over that Band-Aid and your finger. I don't have those, so in this case, we're going to use a glove again. So basically, I have a glove on. Once I have that glove on, and my scissors are dry and clean and sanitized, or, like I said, if I have another pair of scissors, then I'm going to want to use those other scissors. But if you don't have another pair of scissors, you've got your scissors that are now clean and disinfected. You're going to go back out. Hey, Miss Deborah, I'm back out. I again apologize. I'm going to continue your service. I'm going to wear a glove though, just even though I got the band-aid on. I just want to make sure in case the band-aid comes off or whatever, just for, safety purposes and stateful reasons. Um, and I do apologize. Um, I'm going to go ahead and give you 20% off. Now, that's not part of the state board guidelines. That's just something I like to do. Again, this is just something that basically I would do every salon, and you might want to talk with your manager, salon owners. Sometimes they're going to have rules or something they do for clients when situations like this happens. That's totally up to y'all. Some will, some won't. That's totally, and they may say it's up to you. Personally, I've always been the type if I cut my finger and I felt like, ooh, that wasn't really cool, and that person had to spend an extra, 10, 15 minutes with me to go get this taken care of or whatever, I feel like I could at least give them, 10% off on retail or 10% off on a service or something. Usually that person is going to be like, oh, that was sweet. They didn't mean to do it. It was an accident. Accidents do happen. They happen to the best of us. Of course they do. That person actually is going to respect you more just because of your professionalism and the way you handle the situation. And a lot of times that person's probably going to tip you better. I've noticed in my experience personally, I feel like a lot of times person, I don't know, maybe they felt sorry for me. They gave me a better tip. I don't know. I always felt that. But either way, these are the steps. We're going to go over them again. So first step is you're going to stop the service. 2, you're going to explain to the client what happened, that you cut your finger. Basically, you want to make sure you let them know. You're going to excuse yourself to go back to wherever your first aid kit is, your sink is. You're going to wash your hand. You'll wash your wound immediately. If it's bleeding, and after you wash your hands, it's still bleeding, you want to apply a little bit of pressure with the paper towel. You're going to use disposable paper towel. Once that's done and it stopped bleeding, you're going to throw away that disposable paper towel into your trash can immediately. Once you throw away your paper towel, you're going to go to your first aid kit. You're going to get out your first aid ointment, your Band-Aid. You're going to put a little bit of ointment if needed. Apply a Band-Aid. Once you apply the Band-Aid over after your ointment to the cut, then you're going to put your any type of paper or trash, or if you use your Q-tip to apply that ointment with, or a cotton swab or whatever you use. If you use alcohol pad or whatever you use to clean your wound after you wash your hands in your paper towel, that all goes in the trash, of course. So basically, once you clean that, you're going to go back and you're going to get your gloves on. Then you're going to have to go back out and basically remove any type of implements that you were working with, like your scissors and your comb, clips, anything that you were using that you could have cut yourself with, whether it was trimmers, clippers, whatever. If it was your trimmers or clippers that you cut yourself with, you're going to use your disinfectant spray, your Barbicide wipes. You're going to use whatever you need to use, and whatever cleaning solution that we learned yesterday on to clean those tools with. Basically, once that's clean, you're going to go back and wash your hands again. Just because, again, you've been cleaning, you've been exposed to more potential germs, bacteria, viruses, whatever. So then you're going to want to go back and after you wash those hands, you take your gloves off, wash those hands. You're going to want to put a protective glove or a finger guard over that finger that has the Band-Aid, your wound. If you cut your hand, of course, you're going to want to wear a glove regardless, to kind of protect that wound and that Band-Aid from coming off. And then you'll go back out on the floor and continue your service, just like any other professional would do. And don't be surprised if, you know, this doesn't happen. Sometimes you'll be surprised. This happens maybe once or twice in 1 week. Um, but, like I said, it happens ever so often. And a lot of times you'll find that this happens when you're doing little kids too. But anyway, those are your steps, and we're going to go over them again. And I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.